The South Boston Fire Department is trying to make a potentially life-saving change.
The department's applying for its own EMS license. 10 News reporter Coulter Anstead explains what that means and why it's so important.
Controlling the future of the South Boston Fire Department.
We just need to ensure that we control our own license so that when it comes time to renew that license, we'll be able to do so.
Fire Chief Steve Phillips says having an EMS license would allow the department to respond to EMS calls even if the county's fire commission, which oversees the county's fire departments, loses its EMS license.
We will be doing exactly the same thing that we've always done.
Phillips expects to get a license by July 31st. Problems during a routine relicensing inspection of the Fire Commission earlier this year have the commission on a temporary 6-month license, but that could be lost if the problems aren't fixed by the end of July. The State Office of Emergency Medical Services does the inspections and says the problems are fairly common.
I don't feel there are concerns at the provider level that's in the back of the ambulance answering the call. These deficiencies that require the provisional license are paperwork and records maintenance issues.
If the commission loses the license and fire departments can't provide EMS service, that means help might be delayed for people in medical distress. That extra time could be the difference between life and death. Halifax County Emergency Management Coordinator Steve Dishman is working with the Fire Commission to address the problems.
Are you guys going to be able to get them fixed by July 31st, or do you worry that there's some that are not going to get done?
I feel that in general, yes, they will.
If the license is renewed, it will be good for 18 more months. In South Boston, Coulter Anstead, 10 News, working for you.